Woman makes bizarre discovery in the dead of night. The whole neighborhood had disappeared. She rushed out to look for everyone, but a horrible scene appeared behind her. The neighbors all came to the woman's feet, then they disappeared in a puddle of black pus. At first Daisy thought she was mistaken and kept looking, but when she stepped into a pool of water, the house around her shrunk. It was as if she herself was a giant of the world. In the midst of Daisy's fear, the sound of a car roaring above her head. Luckily, it was only a dream, but this strange phenomenon had happened more than once. Just a few days ago, Daisy entered her husband's studio. She found a model of the town. There were even characters in the model. Even its buildings were identical to her own town. At first Daisy thought it was her husband's hobby. She was just going to look around and go to bed, but when her eyes followed the model to the metal box in the distance, she felt something strange. What kind of item would need to be stored in such a way? Daisy took out the box and opened it, and discovered that it contained some old envelopes. At that moment, her husband suddenly came home. Daisy had no choice but to put the box back. The next day, when Daisy was sewing her husband's pants, Daisy found a note in her husband's pocket. When she opened it, it was a love letter from her husband to a woman. Daisy was a little upset. From then on, she began to have nightmares every day. She even thought the whole town was virtual. She had no choice but to go to a colleague she'd been secretly in love with for a long time, and agreed to meet him quietly. When the colleague found out about the situation, he thought Daisy's suspicions were unwarranted. It was normal for her husband to have a model as the founder of the town, and the note was probably from years ago. He tried to talk Daisy out of her suspicions, but Daisy thought that if her husband had done something, then she would have grounds to file for divorce, so she could be with her colleague. So from this day on, the two of them prepared to investigate her husband. They even snuck into his office in the middle of the night. Daisy did find something in the office, a photo album with a lot of photos, and they were all of a strange woman, and this confirmed Daisy's idea.